El Paso, Texas, April 24th. Dr. Sanjay, I trust you have good news for me, Nampu Yi said in heavily accented English. Sanjay was worried. The mercenaries who had shown up at the medical center had him shaken. They were never supposed to meet face to face, but he needed the satchel they rescued from the ill-fated courier. Until now, none of the teams who had been working for him had ever met him. This crew was quite resourceful, but they knew too much. He would have to have his security deal with them. He put that out of his mind for the moment, as there were more pressing issues to which he needed to attend. I've been working diligently, Mr. Yi, Sanjay replied to Yi's statement. He wasn't lying. He'd done everything they had asked and more. He oversaw the construction and provisioning of dozens of supply stations with everything the incoming forces would need. Food, fuel, weapons, transportation, all of which was outside the scope of his expertise. Still, he did it, and no one in the American government had connected the dots. And given the list of items he had to procure, it was no small feat. Sanjay felt he deserved some respect from the man on the other end of the connection. I want to speak to my family. Nampu Yi gritted his teeth. He was tired of Sanjay's games. As if there weren't other people with his skills, he could have coerced into performing the work for them. Sanjay was just the first to accept the offer, not that he had much choice. As time wore on, however, he'd been getting more petulant. I am a man of my word, Doctor. If I say they are fine, then you simply have to trust that I have done no harm to your family, Yi said, with his best estimation of nobility while clinging to the mental image of his chambers that morning and the good doctor's eldest daughter, chained to his bed, nude. He didn't typically like them young. However, the mother, she didn't hold up under stress well. Sanjay sighed. He was becoming increasingly convinced that he was never going to see his wife or daughters again. He regretted ever getting involved with this cabal, not that he'd had any choice. It was too late for that now. He merely told the man what he wanted to hear. I have the final components to the formula and should have the first batch completed shortly. That is fine, Yi answered. I need you to start mixing right away and send transcripts to my email via the encrypted server. Be certain to use the VPN so your transmission will not be traceable. No mistakes now, Doctor. We've come too far. Don't put anyone at risk at this late hour. Of course, Mr. Yi. It will be done as you say. Sanjay shut off the satellite phone and turned back to his computer. He dragged and dropped several files into an email, and after checking to ensure the VPN was active, he clicked send. He sighed, hoping that bought his family another few days of safety. The PC beeped, drawing his attention back to the screen. A new email sat atop the rest of his messages. The subject read, Message failed to send. He opened it and scanned the contents of the message. It listed a series of IP addresses and said the transmission failed after 10 attempts. He tried to send it again, and again it failed. He banged his head on the desk in frustration. He tried again, and once more, it failed. He opened a browser and tried to access his Gmail account. He was greeted with the message. Can't reach this page. Try this. Make sure you've got the right web address. Of course I have the right web address, damn you! He grabbed an SD card from the lab station's top drawer and inserted it into the slot on the side of his laptop. He opened a folder on the PC and dragged several files into it. Then, he started the word processor and typed a couple pages of information about the contents of the disk. He read it over, made a couple corrections, and printed the document. He stuffed the paper and the SD card into a padded envelope, scribbled an address on the front, and took it down to the lobby desk. He gave it to the woman behind the desk, who put it in the outbound container marked for the courier. He knew that even if the U.S. mail wasn't running, was a pandemic apocalypse in their credo? The courier from the company would come by as he did every day to see if there were any packages from Dr. Sanjay with the intermediary's address on them. Now, Sanjay thought to himself, time to deal with that arrogant prick Ian McAllister and the rest of his band of misguided loyalists.